Getting a clearer picture about the homicide charges against a couple already behind bars for keeping their daughter locked in a cage. We broke the news of these new charges against Brian and Shannon Gore after new evidence surrounding the death of their infant son. Now, investigators found his bones in a box under a shed behind their home. 10 on your side's Andy Fox just talked to Shannon Gore's mother. And Andy, what did she tell you?
Tom, she was surprised by the charges. Following our report last night, Gloucester County Commonwealth's attorney Holly Smith indicated she now has additional information. Smith was not available for comment today, and calls to her office were not returned. Brian and Shannon Gore will stand trial for the death of a 7-month-old son named Connor. Tonight, only on 10, Shannon's mother, Karen, tells us how she felt when she heard of the charges.
Of course, I was saddened, heartbroken, and then I was perplexed.
Karen, who does not want to give her last name, is perplexed because it has taken 3 years to bring these charges, and experts disagree on how the 7-month-old died.
When they discovered the remains, they hired an expert who was a forensic anthropologist. Her findings were very definitive. Her findings were there was absolutely no starvation or trauma to the baby.
Then Commonwealth's attorney Bob Hicks told us in 2011 the medical examiner's report on the bone showed the difficulty in saying exactly how the 7-month-old died.
I'm not hopeful that it's going to help us with the cause of death. There was nothing there but bones, and I don't think the medical examiner's office is going to be able to come up with an opinion on cause of death.
So what does that do to first-degree murder?
Well, have to prove it some other way.
These continuing difficulties lead to the homicide charge instead of murder. But ultimately, the Gores will be held responsible for the death. Portsmouth Commonwealth's attorney Earl Mobley will not comment on the Gore case, but will comment on homicide versus murder.
You would go with felony homicide if the death was contrary to the intention of the parties or accidental, yet it was still in the commission of a felony.
And that felony is felony child neglect. Now remember, part of the extreme bizarreness of this case is the 7-month-old who died was born at home, kept a secret because Shannon was underage, a minor and unmarried. Brian was an adult. Their 6-year-old daughter, who was found in the crib made into a cage at the time, who was found in the cage made out of a crib, she was also kept a secret. The only child Shannon's mother, Karen, knew about was an infant son, also named Connor, who was found with Brian in the mobile home by detectives. He appeared to be normal and not malnourished at all. Tonight at 6, Karen thinks the new charges are, in her words, piling on, considering the Gores were already sentenced to 30 years in prison, where they remain today. I'll see you at 6. In the newsroom, Andy Fox, 10 on your side.